All right, so welcome back to Maine. As you might have guessed, the black flies carried off my camera persons. So I'm going to try to do this on my own. What I want to talk about is distances with axes. I have two axes here, same heads. The handles on these are 14s, and the handles on these, this is the standard handle that comes with it. It's a 17 inch handle. And the first point I want to make is the distance or the length of the handle makes a difference. What I'm going to attempt to show you is that the 14 throws for me as a natural throw from about 11 and a half feet. The 17 throws at about 13 and a half feet. So I'm going to try and illustrate that. Hopefully it stays in camera. As you can see, I've put knives down to kind of mark my spacing. And I don't like to throw it in it. I personally don't like to throw at an axe that's already in the target. So here's the 17. It wasn't beautiful, but it's in the target, and the angle's approximately right. So that's the first thing. So the length of the handle makes a difference in your distance. Now those were thrown with more or less in a rushed form, but my natural position to throw, I can throw closer and further away. And one of the things that I can do is I can modify my grip. Now my standard grip is basically like shaking hands or a tennis grip or a golf grip. It's not firm or hard, extra or loose, but it's just a natural grip. One of the things I can start to do is I can then start to rotate my thumb around the back of the handle, and what you'll find is that can actually lengthen your throw. So I'll try and come back a little bit and extend that out. So this is the 14 inch. I'm going to try to throw it from the 17 inch position. Thumb on the back. As you can see, that still not a beautiful throw, but it's well in the target. So just simply sliding the thumb around changes the distances you can throw from. The other thing you can do is you can throw with an abbreviated motion. This is not one that I would normally go with unless I'm forced to. And by that, I mean instead of extending out, I'm actually going to flick. And normally we try to teach people not to flick, but this is with a flick. So by varying those variables, I can begin to change the distance that I'm able to throw from. Another variable I can add into is arc. I find I don't have to throw extremely hard to get the axe to go directly to the target. I just have to throw with the correct amount of force. And you'll see a lot of throwers, they just try to throw harder and harder and harder. Well, it doesn't change the distance. Once you're in a flat line, it's a flat line. So you don't have to keep upping that power. As a matter of fact, sometimes you want to soften the power and give it a little bit of a float. The other thing, and I did a video on this earlier today to kind of illustrate, so you just saw me throw the short from 10 feet. It's also possible to throw reversed. So what I want, and actually with the thumb, remember what I was saying was the thumb controls the distance. If I do this correctly, I can throw the axe backwards from 10 feet with a similar effect. So we're going to give that a try. I'm going to do it with the 14s, and if that doesn't work, I'll turn around and try the 17. So that was the 14. Now we're going to try the 17 from the same spot. So what you're basically seeing is you can throw forwards or backwards It's just a matter of control. That's a little bit about the throwing. You can do it at different distances, different lengths of, whoops, probably out of angle. You can do that at different distances, different grips, different amounts of power float on your axe, but it starts to give you the next level of throwing where you can start to actually pick your distance that you can throw from. And ultimately what you want to be able to do, I've got another range set up, is you want to be able to pick your range and throw from 1 foot increments. This one, you'll notice the target is set back 10 feet from the others. So it starts at a 10 and then goes up to the 20-foot mark. And then you can keep progressing all the way to for this target for the 30-foot mark and so on. So that's a brief, probably way out of camera now. That's a brief explanation of how this works. A similar techniques can be applied to knives, and I can try to do that in another video, hopefully with a camera person to help out. Thanks.